Have you ever stood up from a chair and thought, wow, that used to be a lot easier? Or maybe you've noticed that a bag of groceries feels just a little heavier than it used to. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Aging can feel like a sneaky little trickster. One day you're jogging upstairs, the next you're holding onto the handrail like it's a life raft. But here's the thing. Getting older doesn't mean getting weaker. Not if you do something about it. And today we're going to talk about just that. 5 simple daily habits that can help prevent muscle loss after 60 and keep you feeling strong, steady, and confident in your body. You see, after the age of 60, we naturally start losing muscle. About 1 to 2% per year if we're not careful. And that muscle loss, it's not just about how we look in the mirror. It affects our energy, balance, mobility, even how easy it is to get up off the toilet without turning it into a full-blown wrestling match. I know, not glamorous, but very real. So in this video, we're going to go over 5 easy habits that can help you stay ahead of the curve. Not complicated routines, not extreme workouts, just practical things you can weave into your daily life. Think of it as giving your body a little love each day without needing to join a gym, climb a mountain, or drink something green and slimy. Let's start with the first habit, and it's one you might not expect. Start your morning with protein. Now, I know breakfast often looks like toast, cereal, maybe a banana and some coffee, quick and easy. But here's the problem. Those foods don't do much to build or maintain muscle. In fact, most people over 60 eat too little protein early in the day and way too much at night when the body isn't as good at using it. Muscle is built and maintained by giving your body the right building blocks at the right time. And after a whole night of not eating, your muscles are starving. Literally, they need protein to repair and grow. So when you start your day, think eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, a protein smoothie, even some leftovers from dinner if you're feeling adventurous. And no, you don't have to eat like a bodybuilder. Just aim for around 20 to 30 grams of protein in the morning. That's about 2 eggs with a side of Greek yogurt or a scoop of protein powder blended with fruit and milk. One lovely lady I know, she's 72 and could probably arm wrestle a teenager, swears by her daily breakfast. 2 eggs, a slice of whole grain toast with almond butter, and a little spinach sautéed in olive oil. She says it makes her feel like she's charging up for the day like a superhero, and she's not wrong. Now, if mornings are tough for you and you're more of a slow riser, that's okay. Just don't skip the protein, even if it's something small to start with, like a boiled egg or a spoonful of nut butter. It counts. The key is consistency. All right, now let's move into the second daily habit, and this one's all about movement, but not in the way you might think. I'm not going to tell you to run 5 miles or lift heavy weights, unless you want to, in which case, go you. But what really matters here is something I like to call purposeful movement. And by that, I mean moving your muscles with intention, even if it's just for a few minutes a day. See, the body is a use it or lose it machine. When we stop using our muscles regularly, especially the big ones in our legs, back, and core, the body figures we don't need them, and they start shrinking. Slowly at first, then faster. That's where those wobbly knees and sore backs come from. Not just age, but inactivity. Now here's the good news. You don't need fancy equipment or a fitness trainer named Chad yelling at you through a screen. What you need is a little bit of daily movement that activates your muscles. A few examples. Squats while brushing your teeth. Calf raises while you're washing dishes. A 10-minute walk after meals. Even carrying your groceries 1 bag at a time from the car to the kitchen. Yes, I see you trying to haul them all in one trip. And if you've got stairs in your home, guess what? You've got a free gym. Going up and down the stairs slowly, even just a few times a day, can be a powerful way to strengthen your legs and build balance. One woman I chatted with recently, she's 68, told me she does step aerobics by dancing up and down her front porch step to music from the 70s. Her neighbors might think she's a little eccentric, but her knees feel better than they did 10 years ago. The point is, find little pockets in your day where you can squeeze in movement. It doesn't have to be formal exercise. It just has to be consistent. Think of it as taking your muscles out for a little stroll each day so they remember how to work. Now, while we're on the subject of movement, Let me share a quick story. A gentleman I know, let's call him Frank, is 75. A few years ago, he noticed he was having trouble getting up from his favorite recliner. So instead of buying a fancy motorized chair, he decided to work on getting up and down from that same chair 10 times a day. At first, it was hard, really hard. But after a few weeks, he didn't need to push off with his hands anymore. After a few months, he added a little weight by holding a book. And now, Frank gets up from that recliner like he's 50 again, sometimes just to show off. I say let him. So there you have it, starting your day with protein and building in some daily purposeful movement. These may seem like small things, but over time, they can make a huge difference in how you feel, how steady you are on your feet, and how much you enjoy your day-to-day life. And trust me, there's something deeply satisfying about surprising people with your strength. Like opening a stubborn jar lid while your grandkids look on in awe, or carrying a heavy box and hearing someone say, "Wait, how old are you again?" Now that we've talked about giving your body fuel and keeping it moving, let's move on to something that might surprise you. Hydration. Yep, good old water. You've probably heard "drink more water" so many times that it just blends into the background, like elevator music. But when it comes to keeping your muscles strong and your body running smoothly after 60, staying hydrated is not just a suggestion, it's a necessity. Think of your muscles like a sponge. When they're well hydrated, they're supple, flexible, and able to do their job. But when you're not drinking enough water, they dry out, tighten up, and become more prone to cramping, stiffness, and even injury. That ache in your legs or your lower back after a short walk might not be age. It might just be dehydration in disguise. The tricky part is that as we get older, our sense of thirst isn't as sharp. The body still needs the water, but it doesn't send out those, "Hey, I'm thirsty," signals as clearly. So by the time you feel thirsty, you might already be on the low end of your hydration. A simple way to stay on top of this is to sip water throughout the day, not guzzle, not drown yourself. Just keep a glass or bottle nearby and make it a little habit. One woman I know keeps a fancy water bottle on her counter filled with cucumber slices and lemon. She calls it her spa water and says it makes her feel like she's treating herself, even when she's just unloading the dishwasher. If plain water bores you to tears, add some flavor. Mint, berries, orange slices, even a splash of juice. Herbal teas count too. Just be mindful of drinks that sneak in caffeine or sugar, which can actually dehydrate you if you're not careful. And here's something most people don't know. Even mild dehydration can affect your balance and coordination. That means that staying hydrated can actually help prevent falls. Yes, really. Imagine if one simple habit could help you stay steadier on your feet and avoid a tumble that sidelines you for weeks. Not bad for something that comes out of a faucet. Now let's shift gears for a moment and talk about something that might not sound physical at all, but trust me, it's just as important as exercise or protein. I'm talking about quality sleep. I know. Sleep after 60 can feel like a roller coaster. One night you're out cold by 9 p.m., the next you're wide awake at 3 a.m., wondering if raccoons have learned how to use the garbage can again. But here's the deal. Your muscles don't grow while you're working out. They grow while you're sleeping. That's when the real magic happens. Your body repairs, rebuilds, and restores itself during deep sleep. If you're skimping on rest, you're shortchanging your recovery, and that can lead to more muscle loss, slower reaction times, and a whole lot of crankiness. Now, I'm not saying you need to sleep like a teenager who just finished finals, but aiming for 7 to 8 hours of quality rest each night can make a world of difference. And if that sounds like a dream, literally, there are small things you can do to help your body wind down. Start by creating a little bedtime routine. Something simple, like turning off screens an hour before bed, dimming the lights, maybe reading a few pages of a book, preferably one that doesn't involve murder or taxes. A warm shower or a cup of chamomile tea can also signal to your body that it's time to settle down. One gentleman I know, he's 78 and sharp as a tack, has a bedtime routine that includes a short walk around the block just before sunset. He says it clears his mind, helps his digestion, and lets him watch the sky change colors, which always makes him feel peaceful. Then he stretches for a few minutes and listens to soft music. And no surprise, he sleeps like a rock. But here's a bonus tip. Avoid eating too close to bedtime. Late-night snacks can interfere with your sleep cycle and make your body work harder to digest instead of repair. If you're truly hungry before bed, a small snack like a banana or a piece of cheese can be okay, but avoid heavy meals or sugary treats late at night. Your muscles will thank you in the morning. Now that we've talked about sleep, water, protein, and movement, you might be thinking, all right, that's a lot already. Do I need to become a health guru just to keep my legs from turning into spaghetti noodles? And the answer is no. But there's one more habit I want to share with you that brings it all together. And it might be the most overlooked of them all. It's about your mindset. Yep. The way you think about your body, how you treat it, how you talk to yourself, and what you believe you're capable of has a direct effect on how your muscles behave. I've met so many people who say, well, I'm old now. I guess that's just how it is. But here's the truth. Age is a number. Decline is a choice. And every day you get to choose how you show up. I once met a woman in her late 60s who started doing gentle bodyweight exercises in her living room after realizing she couldn't lift her suitcase into the overhead bin anymore. She didn't start with some complicated program. She just did a few squats, some arm circles, and a bit of stretching while watching her favorite game shows. A year later, not only could she lift her suitcase, she ended up going on a hiking trip in Arizona. The only person more surprised than her was her daughter, who had to scramble to keep up. The body responds to what we give it, and it listens to what we say. So instead of telling yourself, I can't do that, start saying, I'm working on it. It sounds small, but that shift in language changes everything. So be kind to yourself. Celebrate the small victories. When you choose to walk a few extra steps, when you drink that glass of water, when you make a better breakfast, those are wins. Every one of them adds up, and your muscles, they notice, they respond. Because staying strong after 60 isn't about chasing youth. It's about building a life that feels good to live. It's about enjoying the freedom to do what you love, whether that's gardening, playing with grandkids, dancing in the kitchen, or just feeling steady and secure in your own skin. And that brings us to one final piece of the puzzle. Something simple, something daily, and something you can start doing right now. Even while watching this video, breathing with intention. I know. Breathing. Really? You've been doing that your whole life, right? But let me ask you, when was the last time you really noticed your breath? See, most of us go through the day taking quick, shallow breaths without even realizing it. And while that might not seem like a big deal, it can have a surprising effect on your muscles. You see, deep intentional breathing brings oxygen to your cells, including your muscle cells. Oxygen is fuel. Without enough of it, your muscles fatigue more easily, recover more slowly, and can even start to break down faster over time. Now, I'm not saying you need to sit cross-legged on a mountaintop and chant, unless that sounds fun, in which case go for it. But taking just a few minutes a day to breathe deeply, really breathe, can help your body function better. It calms the nervous system, reduces inflammation, and supports muscle recovery. One gentleman I know, he's 80 and still teaches part-time at the community center, has a little breathing routine he does every morning. He sits on the edge of his bed, closes his eyes, and takes 5 deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. That's it. He says it clears his head, loosens up his chest, and sets the tone for the whole day. And honestly, he glows with that kind of calm energy that makes you want to sit next to him and hear all his stories. So how do you start? Right now, if you'd like, go ahead, give it a try. Sit up a little straighter, let your shoulders relax, and breathe in slowly through your nose for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it for just a moment, and breathe out gently through your mouth, again and again. Just a few of those each morning can start a ripple effect. You feel more energized, your body feels more awake, and your muscles, they love it. Now you might be thinking, can something as simple as breathing really help me stay strong after 60? And the answer is yes, because strength isn't just about lifting weights or doing squats. It's about creating the environment in your body where muscles can thrive. And proper oxygen is a key part of that environment. So let's take a breath and then talk about the bigger picture. We've covered a lot together: protein to feed your muscles, movement to wake them up, hydration to keep them supple, sleep to help them grow, and now breathing to keep them energized. These may sound simple, maybe even too simple, but when done daily, consistently, and with care, these habits create a strong foundation for a vibrant, mobile, and empowered life. I want you to think about this not as a list of chores, but as a gentle rhythm to your day. A way to care for your body the way you'd care for a garden. A little water here, some sunlight there, a stretch, a breath, a moment to rest. The results don't show up overnight, but oh, do they show up. I've seen people who were struggling with stairs become the first ones to the top on group outings. I've seen folks who thought their active days were behind them end up dancing at their grandkids' weddings. I've seen quiet confidence bloom in someone who couldn't carry a laundry basket last year and now carries herself like she's 20 years younger. You don't need a perfect routine. You don't need to follow a strict diet or wear fancy fitness trackers. You just need to start. Pick one habit. Maybe it's adding protein to your breakfast. Maybe it's that 10-minute walk after lunch. Maybe it's sipping water while reading the newspaper. Pick one. Start small. Let it become part of your rhythm. Then add another. Over time, these little daily moments stack up like bricks. And before you know it, you've built something strong, stable, and beautiful. A body you trust. A body that supports you when you reach, lift, bend, and dance. A body that lets you enjoy your hobbies, chase after the grandkids, and feel safe and steady as you move through life. I don't believe in telling people that age means decline. I believe in telling people that age means opportunity. The opportunity to take better care of yourself, to move with more wisdom, and to finally give your body the kind of support it's been quietly asking for all these years. And if there's one thing I hope you walk away with today, it's this. You are not too old and it is not too late. Whether you're 60, 70, 80, or beyond, you can build strength. You can feel better. You can move with ease. It starts with small choices, tiny ones, daily ones. The kind that feel manageable even on the days when your knees ache and your back is cranky and the dog just tracked mud into the kitchen. So here's what I'd love. If you're watching this right now and something resonated, maybe you had that aha moment where you realized, hey, I could try that. Tell me about it in the comments. What habit are you going to start? What part of your body do you want to feel stronger? What's one thing you're proud of yourself for already doing? Let's make this a place where we cheer each other on. Because no matter where you are on your journey, there's someone else out there who could use your encouragement. And if you found this helpful, do me a favor, hit that little thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. We're building a community of strong, wise, and wonderful people who aren't ready to sit quietly and fade into the background. Not by a long shot. You deserve to feel good in your body. You deserve to walk tall, live confidently, and move through life with strength and ease. So here's to the little things that make a big difference. Here's to muscle, to movement, and to mornings that start with a stretch and a smile. And most of all, here's to living your best life at any age. Because aging isn't about slowing down, it's about showing up.